Before we get into this episode, I would like to make a quick disclaimer that all of Society Inspired's interviews and the information we share are 100% for learning experience and to hear the different sides of the various issues we discuss. We never endorse nor support violence, and we are committed to promoting peace. I want to create a safe space for learning and comfortable place for people to be able to start to speak. Hope you enjoy. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 17th episode of Society Inspired. My name is Gemma. I'm a 16-year-old Palestinian American teen, and I'm so excited to have Jaja Vankova Armstrong as our special guest for episode number 17. Would you like to introduce yourself, tell us your story, and also share your preferred pronouns, please?
Hello, everybody. My name is Yaya. I've been living in America for over 10 years now. I moved here originally from the Czech Republic. I grew up in the Czech Republic. And I moved here because of dance and movement. I got actually invited to come to America from well-known choreographer Philip Spee. And so I moved here when I was 19, and we entered the competition on MTV's America's Best Dance Crew, and we were able to win the competition. And thanks to that, I actually received work visas and then green card and then citizenship. So thanks to that, I was able to stay here and pursue career in dance and in movement. And later on, I also became a really huge health and food and environment advocate as I just went into deep research on food and health in America and how it differs from Europe.
Mm-hmm.
I mentor a lot of people. I teach. I travel around the world to do a lot of performances and choreography for TV, for music videos, for film. And currently, me and my husband are raising a beautiful, joyful daughter. Her name is Mom.
Okay. Well, I love asking my guests what their pathway to veganism was. So, what was your reason for living a vegan lifestyle?
So one of my biggest reasons why I went plant-based actually was first, at first it was just a really huge difference between the taste in the food in the US and in Europe.
For sure.
So what I realized is when I came to the US, because it was such a culture shock and it was also a food shock for me because the whole life I've been eating Czech cuisine only, and suddenly I moved actually originally first to Houston, where it's a lot of Mexican food over there.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it's very, very, very different. Um, and I started to gain weight from a lot of foods that I would actually be eating very little foods every day because it was such a food culture shock for me. And I started to gain a lot of weight, and I didn't understand why. And then there was also also the fact that the food had such a different taste, even if it was just chicken or just pork or just beef or mashed potato. It was just such a huge different taste. And a couple of years later, somebody has recommended me to watch the documentaries Food Inc. and Conspiracy. Cowspiracy. It's spelled COW. And I dig deep into these documentaries in one night, and in just that one night, I just grabbed all of the meat that I had in the freezer or in the fridge. I grabbed all of it and just threw away. And from one night to another, I just got rid of all of the meat. And then slowly I started to get rid of all of the dairy and all of the cheese, and the little milk in the coffee, and then finding out that dairy is absolutely everywhere. It's in everything. And slowly getting rid of all the eggs. But also another trigger for me, why I decided to go completely vegan was when I got really sick back in 2017. I was actually diagnosed with cancer in situ, which is the transition from the pre-cancer cells to the first stage of cancer. And that was a huge trigger for me to where I needed to change the lifestyle completely. And it was such crazy experience for me too, because in just couple years being in USA, my health went downwards so much just by eating the food here.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's the health industry here is very not great. That's all. Um, how did veganism help your or affect your oh my gosh, artistic and athletic career? It's been a long day. My words are coming together at this point, and my brain is not computing them correctly. Okay.
It's okay. In so many different ways. Because I spent many hours practicing, and so I also need to have a good body recovery or faster body recovery, and this is something that I study a lot as well. And I spent a lot of time traveling, especially before we had our baby. I was on the plane. One time I counted it, and I was in on average on the plane for 30 hours a week,
Wow,
which is like a working.
that's
I said
crazy.
it's a working week, and I just spent that week sitting on the plane, and so the body was getting just so much inflammation inside of it. And the plant-based food and vegan food helped me tremendously to take the inflammation down in the body, but also help the mental health, the emotional health, the spiritual health, which ultimately help with the focus and the concentration for practice, but
Yeah.
also lessen down the anxiety or the stress before performances or before battles. But also being able to switch from one time zone to another, because I was going, let's say, from Tuesday to Thursday, I was in LA, but from Friday to Monday, I was traveling to Belgium. And then again, I was back in LA, and then I was in Japan, and then I was back in LA, and then I was in Brazil. And so the body had so many different time zones, such crazy jet lag that actually keeping up with the plant-based diet alongside with like earthing, just connecting myself to the ground, and cold showers and
Mm,
different techniques and meditation. It all helped me to keep my body and mind together through all of these
yeah.
crazy that was happening.
Yeah, wow. And you just talked about recovery, but what is the importance of body recovery, not just as an athlete, but as a human being in general? And can you share some of your own recovery techniques?
So everything that we do in life, no matter if it's creating or having a conversation, communicating with other person, or studying, or doing any sport, or trying to focus on something. Everything that we do in life ultimately comes from our mindset, our mental health, right? So for us to be truly being able to concentrate and focus and truly be in the peace of mind is really important to how we are feeding our body, our mind, not only with the food, but also with the stuff we watch, with the stuff we read, how we are breathing. Um, and so all of these things are affecting the performance. All of these things are affecting the life that you're living. Even all of these things are affecting the even conversation that we are having right
Yeah.
now. um and one of some of my favorite things to do for body recovery right now at this moment in this phase of life um is ice bath, for sure, my number one. Just getting in the ice, getting in the cold bath, or getting in the cold shower, because it releases so much natural dopamine in the body, and it also takes it is also such a stressor on the mind and body because it's something that you have to, how do you say it? You have to conquer, right? You want to
Yeah.
go into the ice bath, but you have to conquer it to going there. So
Yeah.
once you get over the fear, or once you get over like, damn, this is going to suck, you have just accomplished something really outstanding, not only with your body but your brain too.
Yeah.
And brain is going to release this amazing amount of dopamine in
Oh,
your body. um and again, it takes down a lot of inflammation in the body that is, I mean, inflammation is the root cause of every sickness or illness, disease, disorder, anything, right? It's there's always some kind of inflammation in some parts of the body.
mhm.
My other um body recovery techniques that I really love is meditation, which can be not just, okay, right now I'm gonna sit with my eyes closed and focus on breathing for an hour, right? But it can be as simple as when I'm washing dishes, I will be focusing on my breath. Or when I am uh riding in a car, I'm just going to focus on the inhale and the exhale. And just by giving that intention to focus on that breath, just even that can be a meditation. It doesn't necessarily need to be like a high level, I'm going to play some sound bath music and
Yeah.
I'm really going to focus on the breath and no other thoughts can coming into my head, right? It's
Yeah. Okay.
unrealistic. And definitely other one of my favorite body recovery techniques is the breathing by Wim Hof. Um, I highly recommend to read up on his story or check some of his interviews. I mean, he has so many videos on YouTube.
Okay.
Uh, and I started to do the Wim Hof breathing about 8 years ago, and I literally been doing that since then every day. I mean, yeah, there was probably a couple of days when I missed it, but it's again such a dopamine releaser into the body that releases naturally, and it just calms the body, and um it's a really great stress reliever, really great stress reliever. So
Great.
those were definitely some of my favorite ones.
Great. Okay. And then what did going raw vegan for a bit and then slowly implementing cooked vegan foods back into your life do for your future health and opportunities?
Mm. So, raw vegan lifestyle is my absolute favorite for energy wise. When I was only eating raw vegan, I had the best energy that I had in a long time. It's just outstanding, right? The reason why I introduced cooked food back into my lifestyle is just because I love cooking. I love different tastes and I just love exploring more. And also, to be really honest, with the travel, because I was traveling so much, very hard to find
I bet.
something at the airport. I mean, you go at the airport, you find like a banana and an apple, you know. So
Yeah.
with with me traveling for 30 hours a week, I couldn't be on bananas and apples.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So uh I definitely, even right now, I prefer to eat a high raw vegan. So my mornings would be 100% raw vegan. It's just smoothies and juices and fruits.
Okay.
And my lunches would be like 60% raw vegan, 40% cooked. So usually I would have like something that like quinoa or chickpeas that is cooked. And then for dinner, usually we have cooked food as a family, as a dinner because my husband does not eat raw vegan.
Yeah.
Almost at all. He enjoys the cooked food.
Yeah.
Um, And yeah, I have to say, actually, I went raw vegan for 8 months, and the
Mhm.
way I broke it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best. I remember I was traveling to Russia and something happened with my flights. It was the longest, like 48 hours or so, and I could not find
Dang.
anything. I couldn't find anything to eat, and the only vegan thing I could find was like it was spaghetti with some olive oil and tomatoes. And so I had that spaghetti and it messed me up. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
It was like after like for so long being raw vegan and
yeah.
then this, I was like,
You have to definitely break it slow if you're
yeah,
for that long.
yeah, yeah, for sure, 100%. So
Wow.
yeah, it wasn't the greatest introduction back into the cooked food, but it just happens like this sometimes, and in
Yeah,
situations, it's like it is what it is. A lot of times the shame or the guilt or like feeling bad about it actually makes it for our body way worse than the food itself. Yeah.
definitely
But
meant.
yeah, raw vegan fruits. I love fruits. All kinds of exotic fruits. Coconuts, papaya, dragon fruit, like passion fruit.
I can't do coconut. I
You can
just
do the coconut?
I can, but I just don't like it. I just
No.
don't like coconut. I don't know why.
Did you ever have like a real organic coconut, like with the coconut water and the young coconut?
Yeah, I mean, well, maybe I haven't had good coconut. That might be what is the issue. But people love coconut and I don't like the taste of it. Like I like coconut milk. So I don't know where it gets lost. Anyway,
That's crazy. That's our number one food that we eat every day because I it was one of the first foods that Maya was eating. Um, because coconut has literally like all of the minerals that the baby needs. So
yeah,
coconut water and coconut, she has it every day for breakfast. It's like my non-negotiable. Coconut
good.
water, yeah.
I want to do coconut because like I feel like I'm missing out, especially as a vegan. All vegans love coconut, and I just feel like I'm left out.
It's a very versatile food. Yeah, you can make anything out of it.
I should try again. I should try it again.
Do you like
I,
okay, question? Do you like coconut oil when like let's say something is cooked on coconut oil?
yeah, I mean, I don't really notice a taste difference normally. I feel like
And what kind of coconut milk do you drink?
when I drink it, it's normally just like a normal brand. It's
Like
not fresh.
and
Um,
it's like in a drink or something like in a tea or something like that.
sometimes it's in tea, but like you know how you just get it from the store and like the cartons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. I broke open a coconut once and it took so much work and then I didn't like it. And I was really young too, so I did it in my oh my gosh. Anyway.
That discourages people a lot. It discourages the opening of it before like you find out how to do it and how easy people are just like, no, no, I'm not dealing with this. Yeah.
Well, coconut, do you just eat coconut like fresh too?
Yeah, I buy like the full young coconuts. I buy the whole thing. I have the coconut opener, so I just get the water out of it. I open it, I get the water out of it, and then I scoop out the coconut every day, every day. Yeah, it's just practice.
I'll try again. I'll try it again. Oh God. Okay. Anyways, moving on. In one of your interviews, you talked about how fasting before pregnancy positively affected your journey. And what were the benefits of fasting? And do you have a fasting schedule anymore? Or
So I was fasting a lot before pregnancy, and sometimes I would be fasting for 2 days, sometimes 3 days. my maximum was 7-day fast.
Mhm.
No food at all, only distilled water. Actually, I was only drinking distilled water. And
Mm.
just a trigger warning for a lot of people. A lot of people believe that drinking distilled water is really dangerous. But again, it's how you drink it and how you make the water. Distilled water by itself, like, yes, if you go to Walmart and you buy distilled water in a plastic, it's very dangerous to
For
drink.
sure.
um, and so then I was also implementing a 24-hour fast every week. So I would be fasting from Saturday 8 p.m. until Sunday 8 p.m.
Got it.
The reason why I was doing it was because, again, it helps to clear the mind and just create more peace in the brain and body, because I'm also, or I used to be also, a highly overwhelmed and anxious person. And so that's one of the reasons why I was doing the fasting,
Okay.
because it puts you in kind of a state where when you take the food away, you suddenly realize that our lives are literally like scheduled around food. Like food is
Yeah,
everywhere.
for sure.
You see food on your phone, on the TV, on the billboards. You go out with friends and it always involves food or
Mm-hmm.
kind of drink, or it's just food. Food is everywhere. And suddenly you realize, okay, what do I do with all of this time that I have that I'm not eating, right? um and it kind of it forces you to be in this kind of meditative state,
Mm-hmm.
because then you are focusing on the breathing, you're focusing on the movement, on exercise, on getting the sun or drinking more water. So it also definitely it improves drinking a lot more water, and it just improves cleaning and just detoxing the body, where um the body just stops craving like all the bad stuff, like the salty and oily and sugary stuff.
Yeah.
And I did not implement fasting back yet because I'm still breastfeeding, so I cannot be fasting right now. Or to
Yeah.
my knowledge, there's probably people that fast while they're breastfeed, but to my knowledge, it is not very helpful to fast while breastfeeding.
Mhm.
As Maya is not breastfeeding, I'm going back to fasting again.
Yeah.
It's just it's again, it's such a the same way you have to get over your fear getting into the ice bath. That same way you have to get over the fear that, like, if you're going to miss 3 meals, nothing is going to happen to you. You know,
Yeah,
like
for sure.
sometimes people have a feeling like, oh, I'm gonna die if I don't eat my lunch or something like that. It's like, no, you are not. You're gonna be just.
Yeah, got it.
It was also such a freedom from this kind of mindset where, again, like when I would be traveling and I missed lunch, it was no problem, you know.
Yeah.
Or when I missed dinner, it was no problem, you know. Or if I missed a whole day of eating, it was no problem, you know.
Yeah.
So uh yeah, it's a really great detoxer for the body, but also just like be in the peace
Good.
with yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, are there any vegan, obviously, health products that I can link that you would like my listeners to try or?
Health products. I don't know. I mean, vegan, then there's so many different companies that I love and that there are nowadays.
Yeah.
But health products. Okay. My number one health product actually would be an earthing sheet from earthing.com. Earthing.com. They have different kind of earthing sheets for beds, or even for like an office chair, or for different pads and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's it's a sheet that is connected to the plug. And because the electrical plugs that we have in the wall, most of them, or they should be grounded in the ground, in the soil.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't, because if they are not grounded, they can just blow up, right?
Yeah.
And because the plugs are connected to the soil, to the earth, when you connect the grounding sheet to it, it connects the grounding sheet to the earth and to the soil as well too.
Oh. Okay.
And so what happens with us, because as humans, we usually, when we walk outside, we wear shoes with rubber sole. We are not connected to the earth
Yeah.
ever, ever, unless we like are gardening and we put our hands in the soil, or when we are on the beach and when we are suntanning. So there
Yeah.
is more there is more reasons of why people love to be on the beach than besides the water and the sun. But it's also the connection to the ground that they are not aware of, that is actually internally healing them.
Okay.
And what actually, because the earth has an electromagnetic field, that is healing us when we are connected to it. When you are sleeping on the sheet, on the grounding sheet, you are literally healing overnight as you are sleeping on it. And it takes down like pain of all kinds. So that's my number one health product, because I used to have huge back issues for 10 years. And once I went plant-based and started to use the earthing sheet, the back pain went completely away. And it's been a game changer. And about a year ago, I bought it for my mom, because she's old, so she had really big pain in like her hips and stuff like that. And she called me the next day, just sleeping on it for one night. She called me the next day crying, and it was like, I can walk without pain right now. And I was like,
That's crazy. Wow.
so
That's
that's my number one for sure, that I would love for people to try. I don't work with the company. It's just an experience
yeah.
experience that I have with this. Yeah.
Okay. And then resources. So, read, watch, listen to anything you want my listeners to.
I really love medical medium books. Um, Medical Medium or Anthony Williams. I don't have that one here right now, but he has so many. He has like a liver rescue. He has the brain saver. He has like 6, 7, or 8 books or something like that. Another really great book that I love is this one, The Detox Miracle Source Book, and it's by Robert Morse.
Okay.
He is also a really great person to watch on YouTube, where I believe he has his own site where he talks about the real stuff that he cannot put on YouTube.
Yeah. You too, man.
Another really great book is this one. I really love this one as
That's
well.
a good one.
Healing with Whole Foods by Paul Pitchford.
Cool.
And another really great book. Oh, this one is I just have the cover over here. Is the Brain Saver by Medical Medium. Um, and another really great book is this one, The Fasting Fix.
Mm.
And it's by Andreas Michelson, author of The Nature Cure. I didn't read The Nature Cure. Another great book is this one. Herbal Antibiotics by Stefan Herod Brunner or Bon. I don't know. I apologize for the pronunciations. And this one is updated version. I think he has one and then he put out another one
Okay.
version of it. Um and yeah, the documentaries, Food INC, Cospiracy, Seaspiracy is also really great. Uh, and the typical ones like Fork Over Knives.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah. Oh, for people that would be like bad on diabetes or something, there's a book called Mastering Diabetes.
Yes.
That one is also really great. I actually the author of the book, he's my good friend. He's really awesome. He does so much for that world.
Wow.
Um, yeah. And there's more, but I don't want to overwhelm people. Oh, there's a okay, one more. This one is not connected to food. This one is connected to breathing, but it's called Breath by James Nestor. And of course, Wim Hof has his own book as well, The Wim Hof Method.
Cool. Okay, I
Yeah,
think I got those all written down, and those will all be linked below to the best that find everything. I think I should be able to find everything online.
yeah, you will be able to find everything on Amazon. Everything's on Amazon.
Yeah. And then your socials, where can people find you and keep in touch with you and stay connected?
Literally everything is at Jaja Vankova, which is spelled Jajavankova. You will find me there, everywhere. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview. Make sure you follow Yaya on everything so you can check out everything. She posts so much stuff. It's all great, and you should go check all of it out. And make sure to follow us as well so you don't miss out on more interviews and important information. I hope you enjoyed the 17th episode of Society Inspired, and we will see you guys next time.